Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, today, can you believe I'm already back with more 1,000 Pound Sisters content for you all? Y'all said, listen, we were all shook, shocked, surprised, etc. that last week was the finale. What are we gonna do? What is Zach gonna talk about? Well, let's be clear, I talk about other things besides Amy and Tammy, but what am I gonna talk about? And I'm back again with some more, I don't know, gossip, fun, chatting times, situations, types of deals. But before we get to that, I do want to check in with our number one 1,000 Pound Sisters correspondent, Miss Judy Lou Who. Judy?
I brought you some food. Get your fat ass up and get it. Eat it, bitch.
You're stupid.
It's healthy. It's a banana.
Thank you so much, Judy. I appreciate your input and your feedback. So yes, I am back again to talk a little bit about things that are going on in the lives of Amy and Tammy Sladen, and really Chris too. Why not? Sure, why not? And I don't have a lot to talk about today, but some things came up that I feel like would be good to talk about. Now, one of the things that came up was that there were a few people in my comments that were like, oh my gosh, Zach, did you hear that Tammy got thrown out of a rehab hospital for hurting one of the nurses? Listen, I'll post them all here for you to review. And I was like, where are people getting this? Is this like the Chris getting hit by a bus? If you don't remember, a couple weeks ago, there was this Soap Dirt website that put out a headline that said Chris from 1,000 Pound Sisters gets hit by a bus. And I was like, what is going on here? And then you click on the article and they were talking about him doing that little virtual reality, whoever, whatever situation thing. And I was just like, this has got to be one of those situations for sure. Surely that's what it's got to be. But I tried to Google. I said, hey, Google, hey, friend, Google, you know Google, right? I said, Google, could you tell me this story about Tammy Sladen getting in a fight with a rehab nurse? Could you let me know? And so I didn't find anything. Google turned up nothing for me. And maybe I'm just not good at Google. I mean, Google's not that hard as like a concept to do or whatever, but I couldn't figure it out. Well, Tammy came out on Instagram and had this to say.
Seriously, y'all need to stop believing everything you hear and see online. I would never in 1,000 years hit or kick or bite or throw something at a nurse.
So while I was editing this video, I realized that this video had this interesting comment from Tammy in response to another person where she says, I'm not claiming to be an angel, I'm just saying I would never hit anybody besides family. Yeah, I get an attitude sometimes, I'm human after all. No one can be Miss Polly perfect every second of the day. And I was just like, this is an interesting response, and I felt like if I'm going to include this video that has this clip in it with this comment, that I should probably address it. I'm not sure what to make of it outside of like, I feel like maybe Tammy didn't mean it this way, but this is also obviously a very questionable thing to say. And honestly, truly, like, somebody must have gotten to her too and said, hey, did this happen? Is this true? And Tammy said, we're going to put an end to this right now. But I just have to wonder, like, how much nonsense that they have to put up with from folks. Now, I guess what I do remember, like a couple years ago before the show ever happened, where Tammy was in some kind of center or something, and there was some kind of like drama with one of the nurses there that like maybe she had like some kind, I don't remember the tea. I just remember there being drama around it. Okay, so I wasn't sure if people are getting that mixed up, but I really don't know where people are getting this from. So if you all know, let me know down below. But I did just want to clear that up and help spread the word on behalf of Tammy, because let's be honest, Tammy already gets like a lot of shit from this show, and some of it I guess maybe deserved, but a lot of it not, okay? And for her to have to deal with this kind of nonsense seems like a lot. Now, what I will say is, like, I don't know if this does or does not actually confirm that she is in a rehab facility. I would love to see that for her. I mean, the episode ended, the season ended on this like real note of uncertainty on like what was going on with Miss Tammy, if she was getting the help she needed. And there's also speculation from this TikTok where people suspected that she was already in a rehab facility.
Looks like your girl has got a new hobby. Please don't judge. I just started it. Okay? I don't think it's that bad for my first time. Yeah, that's corny. That's my fingerprints. And it needs to be redone. But honestly, I don't think it's that bad. And I just started the jewelry box. So
it's hard to say, and because so many people were surprised that was the end of season 2, I think a lot of people just have a lot of questions, and they're doing a lot of speculating. And you know what is good news? Good news is that season 3 is on its way. So hopefully we can get some of these answers. So yes, season 3 is on its way according to a Deadline article, but I found out about this Deadline article because of this tweet from Amy. And for some reason she deleted it pretty quickly, because I retweeted it. And then I went back to look at it again like an hour or two later, and it was gone. Okay, so I'm glad I got the screenshot when I did. But for some reason, she deleted it. The article, as far as I can tell, still exists. It's called 1,000 Pound Sisters Renewed for Season 3 by TLC. It says, amid strong ratings for Season 2, TLC has picked up a third season of its popular reality series, 1,000 Pound Sisters. The renewal announcement comes a week after the series wrapped its second season, finishing number 1 in its time period among women, 25 to 54, 18 to 49, and 18 to 34. I think that's good news. I feel like Deadline is a legitimate source for this. This isn't no soap dirt kind of stuff. And what I've learned is that TLC leaves a lot of viewers and fans kind of like in limbo, not knowing for sure whether or not they're renewing some of their shows and stuff like that. But I think it's safe to say at this point that it's coming back, which I have to be honest myself personally. I mean, I figured Amy would be down for it, but I was kind of getting the impression from Tammy that, like, she was just not about it. But listen, that TLC money, it probably is a good incentive to keep going. And they have blown up on social media, like, even more in season 2 than season 1. Like, in season 2, that one TikTok got really popular. Actually, this article mentions how there's that one TikTok clip, I pay my bills are paid. And it has like over 65 million views. And Tammy herself has like 1 million followers on TikTok, okay? So we're talking like, she blew up. She's getting a lot of traffic. And if you go to her TikTok, like every single one of her TikToks has like thousands upon thousands of views. And so she's doing well, okay? She's doing good. So season 2, even if it didn't depict her in the best of light, at all moments and times of the day, like, it did help her out. It did bring her some positive attention. So I think it still makes sense for there to be a season 3. I think there's a lot of things obviously left unanswered. I mean, season 2 ended with like Tammy looking to go into some kind of rehab facility. And I would be curious what that would look like on the actual show itself, because I would wonder if she would be able to like actually film inside the rehab facility and show all of that. And also, so much of the show depended on her interaction of like living next door to Amy that I'd be curious if that is where she's at, like how they'll navigate that as a concept. And then on top of all of that, a lot of the show, I mean, even in a
COVID era of living. A lot of the show relied on them going places, right? Like they went places all the time and did like silly activities and stuff like that. And so I'm curious what that would look like, especially knowing that Tammy was like upset and told me in a DM that she got COVID because TLC made her go to a Mexican restaurant that she didn't want to go to. Well, that was my interpretation, I guess, at least of the DM that I got from her. So regardless, I'm kind of like, where are we gonna go with this Tammy story? If she is in a rehab facility, if she's not, then I guess like there is more to go. I really would love to see season 3 be like a redemption moment situation type of deal for Tammy. I would love to see her be successful, even if that comes in her like being in the rehab facility and getting better. I think though that the show also has a lot still to do with like Amy's journey of being a first-time parent. I mean, in the past like week, Amy has posted so much content on her channel about being a mom and things related to Gage, and I think that like it's just very clear that she really enjoys being a mom, and I think a lot of people would enjoy watching her, you know, go through the trials and tribulations of being a parent for the first time. So I think that there's a lot of content there. And I think, you know, if they really want to continue going with this weight loss narrative, they left it open at the end of season 2 for her to continue working on her weight, because she talked about how like before she has a second baby, she does need to lose some more weight, and how like there's still more work she needs to do and being active and things like that. So I think we could see more from her as well. Obviously, also Chris is another factor in this conversation as well. Like they introduced him in season 2, and even though it's 1,000 Pound Sisters, it really seems to be about the Slayton family as a whole. And I would just be curious to see what his journey looks like and continues to look like. He did start a YouTube channel, if you weren't aware, and you can't really, from my perspective, see any noticeable change. That doesn't mean that he did or did not get the surgery, but if you remember, season 2 also ended with him having the surgery approved, and I don't know exactly what their timeline for when they ended the show, but I would assume that he should be ready just about any time if he hasn't already had it. And I would guess that they probably wouldn't have said, like, go forward with surgery if they weren't ready to bust out the cameras and film. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like TLC has been waiting by with these cameras, and they're probably like, we're not going to pay for this unless you let us do it on the television. Outside of that, I'm wondering if they're going to bring any other Slayton family members into the weight loss portion of this show. I mean, Amy did make that joke in the last episode that there was like only so many family members that were fat that would be able to assist Tammy in a continued journey. But they also did talk about maybe I'm thinking of like a video that Amy posted, but somewhere they talked about how Michael also could probably lose some weight. So I don't know, maybe they'll bring him into it. I don't necessarily think that their sister Misty is like super skinny, but she's clearly also not like at their dangerous weight levels, so I don't know if they would bring her in. It kind of seems like Mama Slayton is just like altogether done with the show in terms of appearing on camera. They did make some reference to her, and I'm also kind of thinking, now that I think about it, Amy talked in some videos on YouTube about how a lot of Gage's stuff is over at her mom's house. And so I'm wondering, now that Gage is in the picture, if Mama Slayton might come back. We also know that in between them filming and this show starting to air at some point, I can't remember quite in the timeline when it happened, Amy and Tammy lost their stepdad. So that was a thing that also happened, and I'm sure changes some of the dynamic with their mom as well. I also wonder how Jerry will be involved, if at all. I mean, Jerry and Tammy have had an on-again, off-again relationship situation going on, and on my last review episode, Amy left this comment which said, Jerry wanted it that way, not TLC. He moved back to NC now. They broke up. And I think that was in relationship to the comments that I was discussing where Amy had said that Jerry had actually been living with Tammy for close to a year. And somebody else followed up saying, does anyone know why they broke up? And Amy said, they need to work on themselves. Tammy, wait. And so I'm curious if Tammy makes progress, like, could that be, motivation for her to keep doing stuff? Like, will she work towards, like, making herself better, doing more for herself, so that eventually she can have a more successful relationship with Jerry? Or would that even be something in the cards? Would he even come back? It sounds like he had demands for TLC on how he wanted to be edited or portrayed on the show. And it also sounds like he is for sure in North Carolina now. So, like, maybe he will, maybe he won't. I would be curious what your thoughts are down below about that as well. So, I don't know. There's just lots of things. I think that TLC will probably continue to want to produce this show as long as Amy and Tammy want to. I mean, season 2 was like a huge hit, in my opinion. I think it blew up way more than season 1 even did. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going based on, like, social media and the response that I've seen folks have to it. So I can't imagine, TLC wouldn't want to do it. And clearly, I mean, I read the article to you. It clearly looks like we will be getting a season 3. So with that, I will say, coming up, be on the lookout for things on social media, because I'm guessing they're on a similar schedule and timeline as they were last season, because they started filming last season like right before the pandemic happened, because you'll remember they were filming and then they like jumped forward like a month or two or whatever, and then they're like, oh my gosh, the pandemic's here. So they were filming already around this time last year. So I'm gonna guess that they're probably picking back up already. So you might notice some things on social media. Keep a lookout. Let me know if you see something. Be on the lookout for maybe a new meet and greet moment. But it's happening. It's happening. I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. And if you are, let me know what you're looking forward to down below. I would be curious to see what y'all's speculation is for a season 3. What do you think that they're going to focus on, show, whoever, whatever? Like I said, I'm just hoping for a Tammy Slayton redemption arc. I want to see her do well. I want to see her get better. I want to see her here for a long time, because I enjoy watching her. Love her or hate her, she's good television. She's an entertaining person to watch. So I want more of that. I want 12 more seasons of 1,000 Pound Sisters. You feel me? Are we on the same page? Anyways, this is a little bit of a shorter video today, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I just had to get on here to talk about a new season. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited. So if this is your first video on my channel, make sure to subscribe down below. I'll leave a link to a playlist of all of my Slayton Sister commentary so you can go watch it on your own accord. And please leave me some comments, hit like, and hit the share button, because all of that helps with the algorithm. Also follow me on all of my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!